Hello, lovely Solstice Spirit Festival. It's great to be here with you. I hope that you're having an amazing time at this incredible festival over 3 weekends. So my name is Juliette Bryant, and I'm here today to talk to you about connecting into the wisdom of the plants. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about myself, and then we're going to go into a journey with wonderful nature. So I have been working as a healer, a meditation teacher, nutritional consultant, superfood chef, author for many years. Recently I felt a real rebirth and awakening within myself to connect more in a much deeper way with the earth, as an earth wisdom keeper. And what I love doing is connecting people into the power that is all around them, the majesty of nature, the majesty of the plants, and how they can really help us to transform our health and our well-being. Because when you start to really tune into the plants, it can accelerate your growth, your learning, because ultimately the plants are here to guide us. And it doesn't have to be, when people think of the wisdom plants or the wisdom of plants, they think of journeying with things like ayahuasca. But I'm talking about everyday plants that are all around us. I'm talking about mugwort and lavender and fennel and rosemary, the plants that are native to our land, that have always been here for us, that have taught us and really helped us to connect into the power that is all around. And for me, as someone who's worked with plants and plants as a kind of medicine with people, and helping people to see how food can really change, how it can act as a medicine for them, has been such an empowering journey. My journey really started on seeing how food was a medicine when I was a child. When I was 8 years old, my mother got multiple sclerosis. And what happened was she looked at all paths. She looked at natural medicine, she looked at energetic healing, she looked at conventional medicine. So she covered across the board, but she really looked into nutrition and how nutrition would play a massive part in her health and her well-being. So from the age of 8, our lives were transformed, our diets were transformed, and she really went hugely into how we could use plants to help heal. And I saw it have such a profound effect on her. So it really set my brain in motion. It set that deeper part of me in motion where I saw and I understood and I connected into the plants. As you do, I rebelled against all that, and as a teenager. And then when I became pregnant with my first child, it really awoke in me the desire to reconnect with plants and how food could transform our health and our well-being. So that's when I started my journey studying nutrition. And I was working as a healer and a meditation teacher at the time. So I've always been into the energetics of life. But I kept them separate. I thought at the time that they were separate things. Nutrition was one thing, healing was another, meditation was another. They were all these separate things. And as I evolved, I connected more into the fact that it's all one, it's all exactly the same. And my journey's gone a long way, and now part of my work, a large part of my work, is I take people, individuals or groups, through my mentorship programs on journeys to connect to the wisdom of plants, to really start tuning in energetically, vibrationally to the plants that are all around us so that they can heal us and help us transform our lives. So we're going to be doing some meditation in a little bit on that, but I'm going to talk about some of the amazing plants that you can work with and how you can work with them. Because people often hear about plants and they think, that sounds amazing, I'd love to go out and find that. But when they find it, they don't know what to do with it. It can all seem so daunting, can't it? It's like, well, what do you do when you find mugwort? What do you do when you find fennel? So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well today. So some of my favourite plants, I've got a little selection behind me here. Look at this beauty. That is a rose from my garden. Isn't that absolutely incredible? Roses are such beautiful, beautiful flowers. When you see a rose, how does it make you feel? For me, when I see a rose, it really opens my heart. And that's one of the qualities that rose has. It's a heart opener. It opens up our heart to love on an energetic level. When you smell rose, it relaxes your being. It's also a relaxant, so it's calming your nervous system. It's calming your whole being down. So it's a really beautiful thing to work with energetically and physically. You can make tea with roses. You can put it onto cakes. You can put it into salad, rose petals. Absolutely beautiful thing to eat or just to look at. And that's one of the things about working with plants, as I said, is you can work in all these different layers, which is what makes it so exciting, that it's this amazing kind of layer of life. So one of the things you can do with a plant is you can sit with it and you can meditate with it, and you can tune into the vibration, the energetics of how that plant is going to work with you, how it's going to help enhance your being. So that's one way you can work with it. With different plants, obviously you work with them in different ways, but most plants you can infuse them in water. So what this means is getting a jug of water, putting some of the leaves or flowers into it, leaving it overnight, straining it out, and then drinking that throughout the day. So you have an infused water. So that's a really simple way to work with plants. Another thing you can do is you can make a tea. So I have my little cafetiere here. I love this little guy. So cute, isn't it? So you can put lots of different herbs in there and leave them to steep, and then drink a beautiful infused tea. So this is another way that you can work with herbs, and we're going to be putting some stuff in there in a minute. You can put them in salads if you're able to eat them raw, which is lovely when you start putting flowers and different herbs in a salad. A forage salad is such a beautiful thing. We've been doing that a lot recently, going out and foraging for soup and foraging for salad, and making beautiful, beautiful salads with 20 different ingredients in. And when you start eating food like that, wow, what it does is it just energizes and uplifts your being. It really opens you up to the magic of plants, because you start to work with them in a very different way. When you go to a supermarket and you get courgettes wrapped in plastic that have been picked maybe a week before, the life force, the energetics of that plant aren't very strong. So you're not going to be getting that vibrational energy or the nutritional content that you would if you just freshly pick something. Because when you pick something, the nutrients degrade over the first few hours, and then there's a gradual degrading from that point. I'm not saying don't go to the supermarket and buy stuff, but if you can forage or you can grow stuff, it's so much the better. Energetically, when you tune into plants, you can really get their vibration, their medicine flowing into your being, which is such a powerful thing. So we've got rose for opening the heart, for really stepping into that amazing place of calm and relaxing where we can give and receive love, because this is such an important thing, that we get this cyclical flow of energy coming in. Another beautiful flower. This is one of my favourite flowers. This is calendula. Now this has so many incredible properties. Calendula has been revered for many, many, many centuries as an incredible healer, as a cure-all. I use calendula in salads, beautiful orange colour to put in salads. So it's working with your sacral, it's the colour of the sacral, so it's really connecting you into your self-worth, which is a really beautiful thing, and your creativity. But calendula is also very good for the skin, so I make healing balms with calendula to help my skin, help with cuts and grazes. The other day I got stung on the bottom of my foot by a wasp. Really painful. And last time I'd been stung, I had an allergic reaction. It was by a hornet and this was by a wasp, so slightly different. But I had that fear in my being of, oh God, is the same thing going to happen? So the first thing I did was I put my balm on it, and my balm has calendula, it has plantain. Plantain is another amazing plant. I'm not talking about the Caribbean banana type plant. I'm talking about plantain, which is almost like a type of grass. It grows in trampled areas in this country really well. It's an incredible plant for healing. So plantain is in my balm, calendula, chamomile, another really soothing thing. and I make this balm and I use it for everything. So I put it onto my sting because plantain and calendula soothe and calm. If you ever are out and you get stung or bitten by something, find a plantain leaf, and what you want to do is you want to roll it in your hands like this, give it a really good roll, and till the juices start to come out, and then you can put it on the area. The other thing you can do is you put it in your mouth and chew it to make a bit of a poultice, and then you put it onto the cut or the burn or the sting or the graze, whatever it is, and it's got amazing antiseptic properties, antibacterial properties. It soothes and calms stings and bites, so it's really a great thing to have. Great for nettle stings as well. And as I said, you can find it everywhere. It's one of those really common things to grow, especially on paths, because it likes that trampled ground. So making a balm is a beautiful thing to do. I've got on my website some foraging courses that I run that are recorded ones, and you can buy them, and it shows you how to make balms, how to make tinctures, lots of different ones. So do check out that on my website if you want to know how to make some amazing healing balms. This is a tea that I made earlier, which I'm drinking, which is a really beautiful medicine. So what have I put in my tea today? Let me get the bits to show you. Okay, so we've got a few different things here. This here is lemon balm. Now, lemon balm is amazing for anxiety and depression. It again is a nervine, so it calms the nervous system down. I'm currently making a tincture, which I took after my wasp sting as well, which is lemon balm, rose, elderflower and poppy. So it's designed to soothe and calm the being. So it's a really nice one to take when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed. Just, it gives you that moment to go, oh. And that's what we need, don't we? So often, that moment to just breathe, to connect into ourselves. And lemon balm is a great help in doing that because it's got that soothing and calming ability. It's got such a vibrant, uplifting smell. When you get a lemon balm and you rub the leaves together and you smell it, it smells lemony. Hence lemon balm. It's like a mixture between lemon, eucalyptus and mint. So it's really uplifting. Those mint and citrus flavours uplift the spirit. If you're ever feeling a bit down, you can get some orange essential oil or lemon essential oil and just breathe it in, and you'll feel your being going, ah. It's like adding sunshine to your day, which is always a nice thing. And lemon balm has that similar quality. It calms your being and it uplifts you at the same time. So a lot of people are struggling with mental health issues at the moment. You know, this is something that is really prevalent in our day and age. And if we turn to the plants, there are so many solutions for us waiting that we can tune into. And lemon balm is part of that. Really beautiful plant to connect with when it comes to anxiety and stress and depression. So that's a really lovely one. We're going to come back onto that topic in a little bit, but I'm going to talk more about this tea first of all, and then we'll talk more in a little bit about other things that you can do if you are in this state of anxiety or depression. This is one of my favourites. So you can see it's got this lovely silvery colour underneath. This happens to be a variegated leaf one. A lot of them are solid green, so you don't have to have a variegated leaf. But one of the things you'll notice about this plant is when it's growing, it's the silvery quality it has underneath. It connects us into the moon, this plant, and this is very much a woman's plant. It's good for men too, but it's very much a woman's healer. This is mugwort. It's said that the witches used to put mugwort under their pillow so they could astral travel in their sleep or have lucid dreams. So it has an amazing ability to uplift our being and to open us up psychically and energetically to what's going on in the world that we can't maybe see so clearly. So a really beautiful thing to work with and to connect with is mugwort. This is in my tea. Lovely way to have it is in tea. You can also eat the leaves. Really beautiful just to put them in salad. You can eat them raw. You could also cook them. Some people used to smoke mugwort for its calmative effect on the being. So as I said, it's very calming, but it's also very good for women. It's very good for menstrual issues. Mugwort is also very good, as I said, to open you up psychically. I find that it's a deep protector for women energetically. That's the kind of feeling it gives of almost wrapping women up in this beautiful ball and saying it's okay, you're safe. So that's a really lovely one to work with, especially when we're tuning into the aspects of divine feminine and divine masculine. It's great to tune into these aspects within plants and how we can combine plants to bring about that balance within ourselves. Okay, this one. Look at those lovely heart-shaped leaves. Isn't that beautiful? This is called ground ivy, and at certain times of the year, a little bit earlier on, it's got a beautiful purple flower. Really small, delicate purple flower, but it's not currently flowering at the moment. And ground ivy, Culpeper, Nicholas Culpeper, who was kind of the father of modern herbalism, he said that ground ivy helped to bring a merriment to the mind. So it helped to wash away melancholy and bring this merriment into the being. So that's a really lovely thing. Again, so important at this time of year, not just this time of the year, but this time in the world, to start having these tools that are readily accessible and grow all around us. You know, it's so often I say nature provides the solution right in front of us, right outside your doorstep, probably growing the exact medicines that you and your family need. It's a matter of tuning in and knowing what they are. So what I love to do in my work is give people this toolkit so that you've got the toolkit in your mind, and then you can let go of your mind and you can tune into your intuition and follow that guidance when your intuition says, I need mugwort today, or I need ground ivy, because it knows the language of how to communicate what it needs on that deeper level. Does that make sense to you? Hopefully it does. One of the really great ways to allow information to go in is, as you're hearing information, to take a deep breath in and to breathe out. So to consciously connect into your breath as you're absorbing new information. Because otherwise what can happen is we can tune out a bit. It's all this stuff is coming in, all this information, and we go, whoa, it's a lot to process. So if you ever feel that when someone's talking, just stop for a second and go, breathing in and breathing out. And it's almost like you allow that information then to go and line up within your being. Now, the information I'm sharing for you, don't get overwhelmed. As I said, there's lots of things I'm talking about, but allow yourself to just connect with the bits that resonate for you. We're all on different steps in our journey, and that's great because we're all individuals. And so it's just a beautiful thing. So what we want to be aware of and what we want to tune into is that the relevant bits will jump out for us. And one of the things I love doing is saying, what is my next step going to be? One thing. What is one thing that I'm going to do? Not, oh my God, I've got to go and change 30 different things. It's like, what's the one thing? So tuning into that inner wisdom, connecting with that deeper part of you so that you can get those messages, so that you can understand what that next step is, what you need to do for the next step of your journey. So my tea is mugwort, lemon balm, ground ivy. What a protector this one is. Sage. I've got a huge sage bush by my front door and a rosemary, and they say that in ancient times they used to put sage and rosemary by the doors, by the entrance and exit, to protect you from evil spirits, to block unwanted energy coming in. And so I've got a sage and a rosemary, and also bay. Bay is very good for protection at my front and back door, to really consecrate my area, to make it a sacred space. And for me, my garden is my sacred space as well, because it's where I grow mine and my family's medicines. And you don't have to have a large amount of space. We don't have a huge garden, but we get very creative with it and plant things on lots of different layers, lots of different levels, looking into the permaculture way of planting where you grow things together. And it's such a beautiful way of growing, not in straight lines, but in this beautiful circle of energy, of lots of different things all working together in this amazing synergy. And when I come outside my house, front or back, I know that I can instantly make stuff that will help with coughs, colds, headaches, fevers, increasing energy, helping with the mind, all of these different aspects, because I've got all these pots around filled with herbs that are filled with magic, because that's what plants are ultimately. They're magic. They're magical healing that the earth is giving us, that Gaia, the most amazing thing, is giving us. And one of the things that I think is so important, that really resonates so deeply for me, is that Gaia is our mother. Gaia is the mother of us and the plants. Gaia is the mother of all of us. And when we tune into that, she provides us everything we need: shelter, love, support, nurturing, heat. And that is such an amazing gift, that we can have all of these things provided by our mother unconditionally. So we are so similar to the plants. We are all vibration ultimately. And when you can start to tap into that magic, the plants also take on a different quality of healing, because you're not using them. You're not just grabbing stuff to make things. You are working with them to access a different level of consciousness, a different level of awareness, to tune you into a different level, a different way of being, a way that we used to have, that in the era of convenience and fast-paced life we have stepped away from. And I've noticed more recently, with the things that have been going on in the world, people are starting to return to that because they've had time. They've had time to see the world in a different way. Yes, albeit in a messed up way in many ways, but they've been grounded, stilled, stopped from going out and being so frantic. And they've been made to walk and be in their local environment and see what's around them, because they've had no other real distractions. And that's a powerful gift. You know, with everything we have to find the silver lining, don't we? I think that's such an important thing in life, is always looking for that silver lining of what things have taught you, how you've grown, and what magic has come out of it, because there's magic in everything. There's magic in every moment. There's magic in a bee landing on a flower, which is what I'm just looking at. There's magic as you watch a plant unfolding before your eyes. There's magic as you see a courgette forming. There's magic as you see the sky and you see the birds and you hear the birds' song healing you. There's magic in the raindrops cleansing you and feeding the earth. It's been so dry recently, and the rain, you could feel the earth crying out, saying, thank you for this rain. Thank you for cleansing and washing away and nourishing me, hydrating me. So this is what is so important to tune into, that when you go and collect plants, when you look at them, always ask their permission first of all and say, please, may I work with you? Because then they start to talk to you and communicate in such an incredible way that this new opening will come and you'll hear them. And some of you may be going, you'll hear the plants? How can you hear the plants? Once you start tuning in and asking their permission and connecting with them as your equal, then you will start hearing them. You'll just get feelings sometimes, intuitions, just that knowing, I need to water that plant. Has anyone ever had that where they've maybe been lying in bed or something and they almost get like this thing of, oh my gosh, I need to water the aloe? That's the plant calling out, going, hey, water me. Because they can communicate with us, maybe not in the way that we're used to communicating, but there are so many different levels of communication going on in the world all the time. So, sage, what does sage do? As I said, sage is a wonderful protector. Sage is antibacterial, it's also antiviral. Sage is very good for the throat. It's known as opera singer's tea because anyone who talks a lot or sings, anything like that, having a tea made from sage leaves is very, very powerful at healing the throat. So it's a really beautiful one to start working with. If you get a sore throat, have some sage tea. And how you would have it in a sage tea, you'd get a few leaves, 3 or 4 leaves, put them into a cup and just leave them with hot water for 10 minutes. And then you can drink it. So really simple to start working with. And as I said, with any of these plants, what you can do is you can also sit and meditate with them, which we're going to do in a moment, to find out how they can work with you on that deeper level. Look at this beautiful one. This is such an amazing wispy one. This again is a very feminine plant. This is fennel. And it's got such a beautiful smell, fennel. If you live near the sea, quite often you can find fennel growing wild, which is incredible when you can find it growing wild. And fennel is very good for our digestive system. Fennel is very good to ease digestive discomforts or to help us to absorb and break down food better. But when you tune into fennel on a deeper level, fennel has a deep strength to it, like a deep strength of spirit that it helps instill in us. And that's a really powerful thing. When you look at fennel, it grows very tall. It's got these really strong, thick stems, but these wispy, beautiful, dancey leaves. And so when you see it growing, what it's telling you is that it's helping you to anchor strongly into your being, but it's allowing you to be soft and feminine and flowing. And this is for men as well. This isn't just for women, fennel, but it's giving you that ability to flow and to move, which is so important. So if you're feeling a bit stuck, a bit in your life, feeling like the flow isn't happening, start drinking fennel tea or sleep with fennel under your pillow. Start meditating with fennel, and you might start to notice how things shift. One of the ways that you can start working with a plant is just to observe it. And when you observe a plant and you see how it grows, you see the conditions it grows in, it helps inform you of how it is going to work with you, how it works on us as humans, because how it grows shows its qualities, its deeper qualities. So for example, a poppy. Poppies quite often grow in rocky terrain with very little soil, in that disturbance, in that kind of really low nutrient soil. So it's growing in hard times, basically. But out of that hard time comes a really beautiful, delicate flower. So what that's showing you is that when you're going through hard times, when you tune into the energy of poppy or work with poppy, it's going to help to soften things. It's going to help to bring you out of that hard times and allow beauty to shine forth. So I want you to stop and just take a deep breath in. And allow that energy to sink in of the poppy. And breathe out. So poppies really can help to shift things when you're feeling stressed, when you're in a troubled area of your life. Chamomile is another example of this. So chamomile quite often grows in the cracks in the ground. Chamomile grows, in really rugged terrain. And what does it do? It soothes and calms the being. Again, it grows out of strife, and yet it can conquer that with calming and soothing. So hopefully this is making sense, how the plant grows, the lessons it's trying to give us. And this is a really, really beautiful thing to start to work with and understand and connect with. Another really beautiful one for soothing and calming is the elder. The elder is probably one of my favourite plants of all time. So elder flowers are out at the moment, just about. They're in some areas they're still going strong. Some places they've just going out right now. But the elder tree in itself is a very strong wisdom plant tree. The elder is the flowers are. Have been used as an ancient cure-all for many years. The ancient Egyptians revered it as a beauty aid. They would make creams for the face and the eyes for its anti-aging and soothing qualities. The Greeks viewed it as a cure-all. I mean, it's been used by lots and lots of different cultures over time for its amazing medicinal properties. The elderflower is very good for hay fever. You can make teas with it, you can make infused waters with it. The elderflower is also very good for coughs and colds and catarrh. So a beautiful thing to have for those different aspects. The elderberries that come later on in the year, wow, what a medicine, hugely antiviral. I love to collect them and dry them and then put them in my fire cider, which is an amazing immune boosting tonic, which is great for the gut, great for the immune system, really powerful medicine. The elder leaves cannot be eaten, they're actually toxic to be ingested, and you need to cook the berries. You shouldn't eat the berries raw because they can upset your stomach. But you can make, as I said, teas with them. You can put them into apple cider vinegar to extract. You can make tinctures with them. You can dry them and use them for teas or syrups throughout the winter. But the leaves are very good for the muscles. So you can make muscle rubs with them. So you can leave the leaves in oil to steep and then use that on muscles. They help to relieve they help with muscle spasms and aches and pains. So really good for that. So the elder is just a very incredible tree. I don't know if any of you have done it, I'm sure you have, but when you sit by a tree and you just breathe in that tree and reconnect with the energetics of the tree. One of the things when you sit by a tree and you put your back against it is it's realigning your chakras. It's energetically realigning you into that grounded, connected space to the earth that a tree so beautifully does naturally. So when you lean against a tree, you're doing that first of all, but then you're tapping into the wisdom of that tree. And every tree has a different wisdom. So it's a really great thing to explore how a tree works, what its amazing medicine is for you. So one of the things that we're going to do now is we're going to do a meditation. And in this meditation, we're going to tune into a plant to connect us into the earth, to connect us into ourselves, and to work with how plants can work for us. So if you want to get comfortable, what we're going to use as the plant is calendula. So you can all see the beautiful calendula here, this beautiful, amazing plant. So if you want to get comfortable, ideally with a straight back or laying down if that's better for you. And I want you to take a moment just to connect into your breath. Not controlling your breath, but just being aware of it. And feeling your being calming. I want you to imagine now that you're walking. You're walking down a path, and as you walk down the path, you see a beautiful woodland in front of you. And this woodland has an entranceway where the trees curl into each other, making a beautiful tunnel. And the pull of this woodland is so beautiful and great in your being. And as you walk down this path towards the woodland, you just absorb the sunlight shining down on your skin. You can hear the birds singing around you. You can feel the gentle breeze on your skin. And you feel at peace. And you walk along this path until you get to the woodland. And when you get to the woodland, you slowly step in. And as you step in, you feel the temperature shift. You feel the energy shift around you. And you look up and you notice the leaves above you and the beautiful dappled light shining down on you through the leaves. A beautiful, vibrant green. And you feel that green healing you, the green of nature. It's been shown that when we're in woodlands release negative ions, which help us to feel calm. So as you stand in this woodland, you breathe in the air, and you feel these negative ions coming into your being, calming you. And you look around the woodland, and you notice in front of you a beautiful, majestic tree that calls to you. So you walk over and you sit down by the tree. You put your back against the tree and you feel yourself realigning. And you look down and you notice the roots of the tree around you. Beautiful big roots. And you imagine your roots, just like the tree's roots, going deep down into the earth. And when these roots go deep down into the earth, they get to a beautiful cavern. And in that cavern, you notice in front of you a beautiful woman, Gaia, the mother of the earth. And Gaia reaches out her arms for you and embraces you. And you feel yourself letting go, releasing everything into her. For she is there to take it all your stress and your strain and your worry. She takes it all and absorbs it and transmutes it. Just take a moment to be with Gaia. And then slowly she releases you and you sit down next to her. And as you sit with her, you feel her wisdom moving through your being. The wisdom of the earth, the wisdom of the plants. And Gaia reaches forward and gives you a gift. She gives you a plant to work with. This can be any plant, whatever Gaia chooses for you in this moment to work with. This plant is your energy medicine for this moment in time. Breathe that energy in, breathe that medicine in. And as you sit with this plant that Gaia has given you, you ask this plant, how are you there to support me physically? And it may be that you get a feeling in your body, or a word or an image. There's no right or wrong. You might not get a response for every level, but just be with the plant. And then you ask Mother Earth, you ask the plant how it works with you on a mental level. Again, you may get a thought come into your mind, or a feeling, or a scene, or nothing at all. and that's okay too. And then you ask the plant how it works with you emotionally. And then finally, how it works with you spiritually. And then you just breathe in the energy of the plant. Breathe in the medicine of the plant through every cell in your body. Breathing in that vibration to help realign you. To help bring you back into the balance that is always there. And then you take a moment to give thanks to the plant and give thanks to Gaia. And know that you can come back and sit with her whenever you choose. And feeling renewed and feeling lighter. Knowing that you are part of Gaia. Knowing that you are part of the plants. You slowly bring your awareness back to your body, sat by the tree. And you give thanks to the tree and the woodland and all of nature around you. And in this space, you ask your inner wisdom, what is my one next step? And then giving thanks to your guidance, bring your awareness back to your breath, back to your body. Moving your fingers and your toes, moving your head from side to side, and opening your eyes. And if you want to make a note of anything that came up for you, then please do. I hope you enjoyed that journey into the earth. We were going to work with the beautiful calendula, but Mother Earth had a different idea. She wanted you all to get your individual plants. So I hope that you enjoyed that. If anyone wants to connect with me and send me a message about the journey you went on, I'd love to hear your experiences. So it's a really simple and beautiful thing that we can do. Breathing, connecting to the earth, connecting to the plants. And the visualization of tuning into the plant and asking, how does this work for me physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, is such an easy thing to do. And you can do it with a pen and paper next to you and make note and do it with anything. And it can start to really inform you of how plants are there for you and how they can individually work for you. Because we're all different beings. We're all ultimately the same, but we're all different at the same time. We all have different needs, slight different vibrational shifts within us. And so what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work in the same way for another. Yes, there'll be similarities, but the depth, the core of it is going to be different. So when you tune into the plant, it can help really open your mind to how things can work on this deeper level. So I hope you've enjoyed the journey into these different plants and connecting to the earth. If you'd like to know more about working with me, if you'd like to work with me on a deeper level, then I'm offering free 30-minute energy breakthrough calls. The application is on my website for these calls. So do check that out and have a look and see if that's something that calls to you. If you're called to work in a deeper way, like we've been doing in this chat today, then do check that out. I also have some beautiful online courses for sale. And if you are interested in these online courses, then I have a very special offer for you today. If you type in the offer of solstice, then you will get a special deal. All 8 of my courses, my online courses, they're pre-recorded courses, for £150 instead of the value of £982. So these courses cover healing the gut, they cover self-care, they cover hormone health, they cover transformative health, journeying into the self, how to have a healthy vegan diet. So there's lots of beautiful courses, there's 8 of them. So as I said, if you use the code SOLSTICE at checkout, then you'll get them for £150 as opposed to £982. So I hope those things might be of interest. And there are also my foraging courses on my website. There are 3 of them, which are pre-recorded from the live version that are for sale, where we make forage soup, we make healing balms, we make tinctures, we make infused teas, we talk about plants in a lot more detail, so that is something that might interest you as well. It's been lovely to connect with you all today, and I do hope to connect with you all more. My website is juliettebryant.com, or you can find me on Facebook, juliettskitchen.tv, and it'd be really lovely to hear from you and hear about your experience on the meditation and hear about your journey with plants. So lots of love to you all, and have a wonderful rest of the festival.